Hello everyone. I'm here in Bonifacio Global City in Manila, the Philippines. And in this video I'm going to give you a short tour of the area. So Bonifacio Global City is kind of like a Wall Street in Manhattan in America, or like Central in Hong Kong, or like financial district in London or Singapore, any other financial hub. This is like one of the biggest financial districts of the Philippines, and it's really quite nice. So I'm gonna wait to cross the road in a moment, give you a view of some of the skyline. And yesterday I got to go inside the Philippine Stock Exchange, although I didn't get to see the trading floor. If you ever want to visit the Philippines, I think this is a really nice area to visit. This is one of the nicest areas of Manila that I've seen. So here's another sign of Bonifacio Global City, except it just says BGC, and here's some artwork for ASEAN. And specifically, this is the part of Manila we're in, Taguig. That's how you pronounce it. And Bonifacio Global City is part of it. So I definitely think this is pretty cute. The, I guess, rainforest animals. And as I mentioned, this area, in my opinion, is really nice. Parts of Manila are really poor, but this area seems very high class. And actually down that way, on McKinley Road, see some people crossing the street. That's also a really nice area on McKinley Road. You've got some houses that they are very impressive. So I guess you have to be super rich to live in that area. And there's a polo club and other things that super rich people like to do. So as I mentioned, Philippine Stock Exchange is in this area, and there's lots of other financial related things here. And there's a nice mall, at least one nice mall that I've seen. And we're actually on a road called 5th Avenue. So I guess 5th Avenue is one of the most important roads of Manila, because it has the Philippine Stock Exchange. And I've read from others that this area may have been a part of a U.S. military base years ago, but I haven't double checked that. But anyway, this area seems very modern, so all this stuff seems like it was built fairly recently. Okay, so now I want to show you the outside of the Singaporean embassy, which is, I haven't been inside, I've just seen the outside, but it looks really nice. I'm not going to walk right next to it because I think the security guards are going to complain and try to get me to stop, so I'll just film it from across the street. Okay, so as I mentioned, across the street here is the Embassy of the Republic of Singapore. And it looks like they've got really good security. And I actually lived in Singapore for about a year, and I really miss Singapore, so seeing this embassy gives me a lot of nostalgia. Okay, I hope you can see there's the am I pointing at it? Yeah, that's a Singaporean flag. So the Singaporean flag has a red stripe at the top and a white stripe at the bottom, and then there's a white moon and some stars as part of the red stripe. And it also looks pretty similar to the flag of Indonesia, but in any case, that's the Singaporean flag. And this area has, I guess, looks like just some landscaping. And this is an interesting thing that I haven't seen before. And I guess it was donated by Finland. See if we can look at the outside. Also, okay, so we've got fairness, equality, first resilience, and liberty. So that's pretty interesting. Okay, so moving on, we're gonna cross the street. And these here look like looks like an apartment complex, and I imagine having a flat or apartment here is quite expensive. Even though we're in the Philippines, a relatively inexpensive country compared to others, this area I imagine would be very expensive to live in. And I've been in parks in the Philippines where they have interesting benches or seats, and this is one of them. It's kind of interesting. So here's the Singaporean embassy again, walking past. Oh yeah, I've seen a Kit Kat bench in another park. So this one is green Kit Kat in Ayala Triangle Gardens. I saw a Kit Kat that it was brown, like chocolate. Okay. And also in this area, there's a Shangri-La hotel, and inside that building there's some high-class stores. So here's Sun Life Financial Building. And there's a few RCBC locations in this area. That's a bank, RCBC. Well, there's the Starbucks. And I don't know if you can see this. There's a whole bunch of these. I'm not really sure what these are. But some kind of bugs. Yeah, so we're getting closer to the Philippine Stock Exchange. And as you can hear, there's a bit of construction going on. Actually, there's construction in a few places around here. And this is a building called One Global Place. I'm not really sure what's inside here, but I imagine offices for different banks. Rolls Royce. So you can tell this is a high class area. They wouldn't put a Rolls Royce in a poor area. So you see Rolls Royce. And as I mentioned, this I've read that this place used to be a part of the U.S. military base. So I have seen the word fort used. There's a building across the street that says the fort at BGC. So I guess they've kept some of the old name. This here is some nice street art on this side of this building. I think it looks pretty nice. So unfortunately I'm too late to cross the street, but I'll show you some more of this area. So there's a museum in this area which I haven't been to. I think you saw the sign, but maybe not. Let me show you the sign again. Okay, so the Mind Museum. That might be interesting to visit. Oh wow, there's this very tall building down that way. Okay, so a few more seconds before I can cross the street again. So directly in front of me is a bunch of nice restaurants. I haven't been to any of them, but I think they would be good to go to. Okay, great. Crossing the street again. And here's another sign of BGC. Okay, so I think you can see the Philippine Stock Exchange from here. That building with text going across, that's the Philippine Stock Exchange. And as I mentioned, these are some restaurants here. So there's some Filipino cuisine, but and then some others. So I think I'll end this video showing you the just the outside of the Philippine Stock Exchange. But before I go over there, I just want to show you the outside of a mall, which is pretty close. So, got a Korean barbecue place, Japanese food. So you can see, I'm not sure if you can tell, a bit higher, the angling is off, but at the top it says PSE, stands for Philippine Stock Exchange. And on my right is at least two malls. I'm going to show you one of them. Excuse me, at least one mall. There might be two malls. There's one, I guess, being built, or a store being built. Okay, cool. There's a Chase building over there, JP Morgan Chase. This is the Philippine Stock Exchange. Let me show you a better view of this. And I'm gonna walk across the street to show you the Philippine Stock Exchange. But this is a view from across the street. And Shangri-La Hotel is there. And this area, I guess, is called Bonifacio High Street. So this building, which I haven't been in, I guess has a Chinese restaurant and some other shops. And this one, which I have been in, is the big mall. So there's lots of nice clothing stores in this one. And there's a cinema. There are cinemas. And interestingly, I haven't really seen this anywhere else in the Philippines. This type of sign. It says BCG is photo friendly. So that's great. And I am a bit surprised. Already there's a Christmas tree. So we're about 2.5 months until Christmas, but still already they're getting ready for it. Okay, so now I'm gonna cross the street for the Philippine Stock Exchange. So the Philippine Stock Exchange building, I guess, is not really that tall compared to a lot of the other buildings, but it's pretty nice on the outside. So there's another RCBC building. And that man walking with a dog, he's a security guard. And in the Philippines, you see lots of security guards. Okay, so here's some interesting artwork. Of Philippine Stock Exchange. So sculpture, Path to Prosperity. Looks pretty interesting. And this is the outside of the Philippine Stock Exchange. Security guard's gonna stop me, so I just want to film from here. Okay, so that's the Philippine Stock Exchange. Sign for it. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. As a recap, this was a tour of Bonifacio Global City, and I ended at the Philippine Stock Exchange. So if you could, I'd appreciate it if you give this a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel, and feel free to leave a comment. All right, thank you, and enjoy future videos.